Hey everyone, welcome back to Rhythm Railroad. This is going to be the last video of this year, 2022. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I figured before I go out and celebrate, I'd shoot a quick video on generally what's been happening on my layout. So here we go. We'll start here. I was able to get this nice little toolbox, which I've been itching for a while because I needed some kind of surface area to put things down. But I also wanted some kind of tool holding situation where I could put the tools that I use a lot in one place, and this was perfect. Plus, I made it into a little charging station by adding a few power strips here with double-sided tape. And now I can charge my walkie-talkies, but as you can see, I can put things down that I use all the time, throttles and things like that. And this whole toolbox is on wheels, so I'm able to take it around the basement if I want to. The power is just one plug, it's just a matter of like unplugging that, and then it's free to go. And so, this is on wheels, so I can wheel it around. If I'm doing a project over there, I could just take it over there and just leave it there, and then plug it over there if I want to, for, the soldering iron or whatever else I might need. So that's the newest thing. The other thing that I did was that I cleaned up a lot, which is nice. I hate doing it, but it's nice because I'm not tripping over things. I don't have a lot of clutter under the bench work. I was also able to reorganize things, and I gained a lot of space that way. So starting over here, here's my rolling stock and locomotives. I had got that nice and neat. Those are my Walthers kits. Some of those are not even finished yet, but I like to keep the boxes so I know what goes to what. Especially if they're like halfway done, sometimes I just build part of them just to know what the footprint's going to be, and then I'm left with all the extra parts. So I leave them there until I'm ready to put them together. I put all my drawers here in the center because it's easy access and I can find everything. So this is things like power sources, extra wires, turnouts, extra tracks, styrene pieces, things like that, odds and ends, LED parts, and whatever. My drum set has always been there, but I did pull it out and clean it all up. And now that it's clean and I'm not tripping over things, I can set it up in this area with a rug. So that's nice. This is the least clean area, I guess. Well, that's not true. There's one other area over there. But my buddy Mark basically lives here part-time as far as the trains go. So he keeps his stuff here. This way it's nice and safe, and it's also separated from my stuff. So that's all good. I just got to organize this little corner here. On this side, I was able to get my number plate up finally, but I do want to put lights behind it to illuminate it a little bit. It's just a test track, but again, this is all a lot cleaner. This is laundry, but that's going upstairs. This I was able to organize down here. Same thing here I put my paints and boxes that I'm not using down there because I don't have access to that easily, so that stuff barely moves. But this is the worst corner of all, and that's because I'm doing a lot of wiring still. So I decided to keep that out of place. And then the final quadrant is back here. And this is the cleanest part, which I'm so glad because I gained a lot of room here, a lot of space. This was all full of lumber and extra parts and things like that. So now, all I really needed were these 3 drawers. And even this stuff's not even necessarily layout related, but I was able to kind of store it back there. And I do have one of my N scale scenes back there that has always been there, but I was able to clean it up, vacuum it, and keep it in place. But that's my favorite scene of my N scale layout, which I had to get rid of. Down here I have all my scenery things, and they're separated by glues and paints and foams and ballast and things like that. So that's nice and neat. And this is just extra odds and ends, pieces of wood and hardboard and foam. In case I need something, I could just pull that out. So that's basically it. Now, as far as the layout goes, and by the way, I'm going really fast because I have limited storage in my phone, so I want to get everything in, and I don't have time to start going crazy with the editing. Third level has basically stayed the same with the exception of this photo backdrop that I put up here. And I did this to add depth to the scene because obviously this is such a narrow piece of bench work that by adding that, you know, any kind of photography or video is going to look a lot better. So I'm going to get another one of these flipped around so it looks like it's different. And I'm going to add it on that side. On this side, I have space back there to start adding trees because the benchwork kind of comes out a little bit. So I'm going to kind of blend it in by adding seam block, basically. And that'll be it. But that's basically all that's going on the third level. On the second level, I did get a new signal bridge here. And the reason I did that is because the old signals were hard to see. And I also needed like single signals rather than a bridge like this. And I'll show you. It's just basically for this crossover right here. So these were the signals, this one and that one, which are double-headed signals. Those are the ones on the other side. So I just transferred them over to this side, and then I added a single head signal there and here, because obviously, you know, you need the double-headed signals for when there's two routes, and the single-headed just to either go or stop. So that's cool. I was able to get that. Oh, the new thing I got also for that is the let me see if I get this right. I think it's called an SE74 by Digitrax, which is basically replacing the SE8Cs. It gives you more options. You can do like flashing reds, flashing greens, lunar lights, you know, like things like that. And I haven't messed around with it too much, but it's definitely nicer because it's small. It's like only about the size of a DS64. So I have that down there. And I'll probably have to buy one more of those, but I think that was it as far as signaling on this side. Second level continuing, nothing really going on. This transfer yard is kind of status quo right now. The only thing I did add was a crossing signal here with gates, and I just added the sound yesterday, so they are working. I just did not install the sensors that go here and here because I ran out of them. I gotta order more. So it's just kind of on a timer, just like a 30-second timer. But they look good, they sound good, and they come down very smoothly and back up. So that's new there. This scene is also the same. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with the pavement and, you know, the rest of the scene. Down here on the first level, this is where I have most of the scenery, or most of the work that I've been doing. More specifically here on the river scene, this has been like a big project, and I have, you know, made a bunch of videos on this scene. But basically, when I started doing it, I wanted to get this to look like a rough river kind of coming through. I wasn't even planning on doing a waterfall back there, but I do have a waterfall now. I just have to add more of the actual fall. That's just like the rock bed. But I love the way the water came out. It finally cleared up 100%. So no more, there was some like hazy or like milky type looking spots. So that all cleared up nicely. I was a little worried about that because I poured it kind of thick, but that worked out. So yeah, basically the scenery, all of this is new, including static grass, that little dude right there hiking. And then also I extended it, but before I keep going, these signals, these crossing lights are also new. I don't have room, or I don't have space under the benchwork to put gates here, so that's why I just decided to go with this. But whatever, they still have sound. I have the volume turned a little bit down because it's just too many crossing gates going on. But like I said, I extended the scenery here, so you know, I'm adding like bushes and trees and things like that, and I actually extended it all the way to here. And this is another thing that's very new. Another photo backdrop back here, which definitely, again, adds the depth that I was looking for, especially with this track being so close to the wall. So now when I take photos this way, it looks like it's obviously much further. I just got to figure out what to do beyond this point. I was thinking of just doing this over like a very dense tree line, just like this, just kind of keeping it going, so that it all kind of blends into this. But I might have to taper this down a little bit so that it's not so square on the side here. And then obviously I did a lot of scenery work here with grass and trees and, you know, other things right here, rocks and grass. I also finished the crossing here. I finished the ballasting. All of the ballasting is now pretty much done with the crossings in place. What I haven't done yet is this. This is going to be some kind of other industry. I was going to make it like a tank car facility, like a, you know, oil or something. But I don't want to have a tank here now because this looks more like remote. So I don't want it to be like so dense. So I might do like a wood chip something or other here or something simpler. Again, I'm not really sure. I did add a guardrail here, rusty looking guardrail that goes all the way through. I added a bunch of little static grass patches here so it looks overgrown, especially on the back of the industry. And I this is the same, but I like the way it looks, like how it's like a little bit detached there. The road and the crossing are new, sort of. And this, I have no idea what I'm going to do with still. I might leave it, I might not, but it might be water, it might be a hill, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. So yeah, so that's basically it. Not much has happened beyond this point. And, you know, I've been doing it here and there when I get time to do things. I've also been weathering a lot of rolling stock. Like this train has been basically weathered all the way through. So all of these well cars and spine cars have been weathered. And, you know, so I've been doing things like that upstairs, which also take time. And then the last thing I did was I added these tilt and pan TP link cameras, which are cool because, like, for example, this camera gives me sight of this room entirely and then all the way around to basically here, the door. And I can zoom in, I can go up and down so I can see the levels. I can go all the way down to the floor, all the way up to the ceiling. And I did the same thing with this camera, except I'm not going to keep this here because obviously it's like in the layout. I got to figure out how to mount this and where I'm going to mount it. But I wanted to see this also. And the reason why I'm putting those cameras in, well, there's two reasons. Number one is that sometimes I like to go upstairs and dispatch for myself. So I'll just be in the room upstairs and I'll be running trains from upstairs. But, you know, it's a little nerve-wracking. So, you know, by having this on my iPad next to me, I can see if the trains are actually moving rather than just praying that this line's going to move. You know, once it's detected, like one of these red lines are going to move to the next block. So that's kind of fun. The other reason is because I'm having sessions down here, and sometimes I just like to kind of keep an eye on the room if I'm upstairs dispatching. So, and the third reason is just that they were cheap. They're really cheap, and they were on sale. I got them for like $30, I think, which is, you know, incredible how those things used to go for hundreds of dollars, like back when they first started doing stuff like that. So that's exciting, and it was easy to install. So that's why I did that. So that's basically it. I'm sure I missed a few things here and there, but those are the big things that I'm working on. And you know, of course, I'm also dealing with like little repairs and things like that as we go. Winters are always a little bit tough because the air is so dry that the wood shrinks, and so my benchwork starts to move a little bit. But knock on wood, no kinks so far. I shouldn't have said that. Now I'm gonna get a kink. But that's good. I made it to the end of the year without any kinks on the rail, and it has been pretty cold out. And it's been going up and down. It was like 60, then it was like 9, and you know, it's like all over the place. So that's all good news. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Again, Happy New Year, and I will see you in 2023. I'll try to make a video at the end of January. Thanks for watching.